Hey there, this is Darren, day 57. Do you ever have a day where you wake up and it completely changed from what you expected? Well, I thought I was flying on Friday from Vegas to Chicago, and boy, to my surprise, the flight was actually that day. 15 minutes, packed, boom, out the door. And here I am in Chicago. So, read a lot on the plane, and really want to check my notes on this because there were some great ahas. When I started reading this, I actually started getting more and more excited. It's just a long process, but it seems farther away, but it actually seems doable and more real. Yesterday, if you remember, I talked about the 10-second pitch, and talking also about the difference between episodic TV. And so I guess this is one lesson that I've learned, is that there's some parts reading about episodic TV that really not applying to what I'm doing, but also hearing about a different format of screenwriting actually helped me understand screenwriting better for a film, for a movie. So one of the things I learned was series characters in episodic TV don't have character arcs the way a novel does in a movie, because flaws and weaknesses will never recur different ways week after week. Will reoccur week after week. So in a movie, they start off here, they go down, they learn something, they come back, and they're different. I guess an arc would be that way, but the way I learn the hero's journey, forever it's down there in my mind. So what we're saying is there's an arc in a movie, but in episodic TV, the people have the same issues, the same foibles, and they use Friends as an example, and that Joey is still a womanizer, and Joey is not an intelligent character. So that doesn't change throughout the course of the episodes. Anyway, I think you get the point. Also, learned an aha about when you're putting together self-help books, and what he talks about in when you're pitching like a self-help book. Every instructional book ever written was created to solve a problem. Lack of knowledge, lack of skill, need for inspiration, and desire to have something more. That's the purpose of a self-help book, which is just good to have that clarification. And then when he's talking about pitches, he says, I think the best way to tell you about the project is to tell you what I love about it, and tell your buyer exactly that. And I was thinking of in my story, for me, the story of the MIT girl, when she heard my ouch speech, how it changed her, and how I discovered the value of my own speech and how much it helped her. That's like when I got it, that's when my own belief went up. So I want to make sure that gets in there. Then the extra stuff. Then they actually he has pitching templates in his book, which is obviously a template for creating your pitch, and he has all the different genres. Which what I love when I came to this chapter is that I didn't know it was there. And he said, a word of warning: if you jumped ahead to this chapter for an easy shortcut to a good pitch, it's not going to work. It's not even going to make sense unless you've read the whole process first. So I love that he said that, because I might have kind of skipped forward to get right to this. But I love knowing it's there, and when I started reading it, it all did come together. It all made sense. And he had so he has all the different templates here, and he actually comes up with one and pitches the way it should sound, and he uses Wedding Crashers as his example. But also, when he talks about Wedding Crashers, if you've seen the movie, the second part of the pitch, he talks about, but each of them, about the womanizers, and each of them falls in love with one of the bride's sisters. but then he talks about what they have to overcome. They have to overcome a psychotic brother, a nymphomaniac mother, an obnoxious fiance, overly protective father, and it's just realizing that even though it's Wedding Crashers and it's a comedy, there's still all these obstacles they have to overcome. So that was really cool. And at the very end of the book, he interviews people who are the decision makers, who hear pitches all the time. And one of the gentlemen, Jeff Arch, that he talks about, well, it begins. He said, as soon as somebody's pitching and they say, well, it begins, he's like, ugh, it's gonna be a bad pitch, because they have the beginning of the story down packed and it's designed to intrigue you. But really, what someone hearing a pitch doesn't want to hear the actual story. They want to know who it's for, what it's about, but don't actually tell them the story. So he says this over and over again. There's another one from Stanley Brooks, and he says what he did is he interviewed people and he asked them, okay, so what are some challenges you see in pitches, and what were some that really intrigued you and why? And one of the things that this gentleman says is something that really sparks his interest is a personal connection to the story from the writer or producer. And he says it's the passion and emotion that sells the pitch. This actually brings me a lot of confidence, because I know I can bring that, because I do care and because I tell the same story in my speaking. So that also is bringing me confidence, kind of backing up that thing. And then this was a huge aha. Somebody talking about the difference between what's the primary difference between an amateur and a professional for someone who's pitching or writing. It says a primary difference is an amateur wants us to market his script. A professional wants us to let him know how to make his script marketable. So I'll say it again. The difference is an amateur wants us to market his script. A professional wants us to let him know how to make his script marketable. That is a subtle and a huge difference. So I hope you see that it's almost like, well, an amateur wants you to do the work for him. Someone who's a professional wants to know how to make it more marketable. So it's interesting, because I see that paralleling speaking as well. So that's about where I left off. So I have a few more real life stories to read, but almost done this book. Woo-hoo, getting there. Almost done. I hope to have it done this weekend, or at least by the beginning of the week, so when I head back on Tuesday to Las Vegas. So a lot of good ahas in reading on the plane today. So made some progress, at least 24 minutes. I'm kind of guessing, because again, I was on a plane, so there you go. But I'm psyched. I feel like I'm gaining momentum, and I'm actually excited to start writing. But I want to finish this book and I go through Sid's book and then write. So will be a new phase. But this is kind of like the information gathering phase, just like when I had to read the Judy Carter book. Get the information first. Whatever your dream is, whatever your goal is, get the information first. One of my mentors, Dave Fitzgerald, when he didn't get his license till he was 35, he said the first thing he needed to do was get the book. Get the information first. So that's what I'm doing. I'm in the information gathering, so I can put that energy in the right direction. Same as in comedy, same as in World Championship Pursuit. So there you go. 24 minutes at least, closer to my goal. Enthusiasm's building. Excitement I'm itching to write, which I want that feeling rather than having to write. So kind of like almost like holding myself at bay, just to get myself more excited and heighten that enthusiasm and passion. So there you go. That's all for tonight. Long one, but a lot of good information and a lot of ahas for me. I want you to have some ahas. So I'm closer to my dream. How about you? See you tomorrow. Stage time.